I need you guys to follow me today, because we're going to talk about something. That something is the light. And before we do, I'm going to give you a little quote from one of the most famous light wielders of all. And this is what he said when he describes the light. No one feels he deserves it. And you know why? Because no one does. It's grace, pure and simple. We are inherently unworthy, simply because we are human. And all human beings, aye, elves, dwarves, and other races are flawed. But the light loves us anyways. It loves us for what we sometimes can rise to in rare moments. It loves us for what we can do to help others. And it loves us because we can help it share its message by striving daily to be worthy, even though we understand we could never truly become so. Uther the Lightbringer to Arthas Menethil. That's right. This quote was from a legend to an even greater legend, describing the light. Now, this light he describes, is it the light that we deal with on a daily basis, the light that priests and paladins wield in the game currently? Or is it something else? I really want you guys to think here. Take my hand. I'm about to take you on a journey, because something interesting has revealed itself to me. And Mr. Burnt Dorito in chat, part of this is from you. Now, we've seen what happens with the light in general when it becomes a bit, overzealous. We've seen the light commit some atrocities. At least the light that we know has done so. In fact, if you've ever done the Maghar Orc quest line, you've seen what the light could become when wielded in a way that's, unsavory. If you're doing the Maghar quest line ever, there comes a point where it's exposed that, in fact, the light pushed Yrel, one of the fan favorites of WoD back in the day, to become what was basically an overzealot. She basically became insane, pushing the light on everybody who was willing to take it, and essentially killing anybody who wasn't willing to take it. Yeah, now see, she says, some of the orcs have sided with her, and others, the light must be ended. So this questline takes you on a journey where we first discover that the light isn't exactly all good, right? But it doesn't really fit the description that Uther was giving. This all-knowing thing that, is super pure. In fact, we in the end see that a sacrifice has to be made to even get out of this quest line, because the army of the light is standing here, and we see the good old war chief rush in. The war chief of the Maghars rush in and save them in the end, before the light could be essentially pushed on them from Yrel. This is how that whole quest line ends, with the army of the light coming in here. We must not. It is not our fate to fall to corruption. They describe the light as corruption in this quest. That's right, and hi Exarch. I have come to offer you one last chance to embrace. Your people are choking the life from this world, dooming the land to desiccation. This is Yrel talking. Are you blind, Yrel, as the light has doomed this world? It pains me to lose an old friend, Gramash, but very well, we will settle this your way. This is insanity. So the way the light is described in this quest line, and the way things end up playing out here, the light is kind of messed up, right? The light isn't this pure thing. It's in fact almost the opposite of pure. But what is the light, again? The way the light is described, when we look at Wowpedia here, is it's not essentially this wonderful thing. In fact, the light is described as not necessarily good, but it is a primal force with its morality characterized by how it is wielded. The light cannot fully see destiny, though neither can the void, for neither is a singularity responsible for creation. Now listen to this real quick. The light seeks one path and shuns all others as lies. To me, that doesn't sound like the light that Uther was describing. To me, that sounds like someone that we've been dealing with quite a lot lately, or at least talking about quite a lot lately. You ever heard of these guys? You ever heard of these boys right here? Very interesting. the one true path. Now, we know the void is a people of, a thing of many truths and many paths and things, but where have we recently found out that there is, in fact, many truths, but the Titans have been pushing us towards one. Whether it be by lying to us about others or other paths, or blinding the vision of Norsdormu to forcing us down one way. That's right. This description right here, the light seeks one path and shuns all others as lies, doesn't sound like the light to me. It sounds like the Titans. Now, if we look into what the Titans are, we know they are in fact not all good or all evil. They are just very, pushy into what they want. But what are the Titans? They're not of the light. It was once thought that, the light and the Titans were aligned in some way, that we believed that, the Titans and the light were one. They were one of the same. But we've in fact found out that that is not the fact. The Titans are made of arcane. They are planet-sized cosmic beings composed of arcane magic and the primordial matter from which the universe was born. Now, what is arcane magic? Because that's essentially what makes up the Titans. Let's dig a little deeper here. Arcane magic is a cold and intellectual magic that wraps time, space, and controls the flow of mana, which is just a measure of fundamental power. Okay, so what do we have here? Arcane is a language of order and is the opposite end of the spectrum, which represents disorder. A one true path minded set. And time. I want you to remember this. Time. Yes. Time, people. I want you to think about the light for 1 second here. What does it do oftentimes when we're using it? Is it truly healing? Or is it just reversing time? That's right. So far, the way the light is described, at least for the way we use it on Azeroth, it's this one-track mindset, this one-truth mindset, and it's used to heal, to reverse time. What if the light that we've been wielding this entire time is not truly the light, but in fact is a Titan construct, a way to reverse time, and the true light has been hidden from us this entire time? Because true light is not singular. It is not one path. It is more chaotic. And the Titans are anti-chaos. Now, we've seen how time has been used in the game before. We've witnessed what time looks like. And time does have, when it is used in terms of magic in the game, it often does look like, something that you would expect the light to look like. Isn't that right? I mean, whenever we've looked at, Norsdormu, whenever time is used as magic in the game, it often looks like a golden light. It often looks, very much like, this golden, shine. Much like what we've seen from, anyone else who uses the light. So if Norsdormu and the light itself that we currently use is just a construct of time that is constantly used to reverse time, to heal, what is time? What is the light? Now that we know that the light is not what we're currently using, the light is not all good. I remember watching BlizzCon and thinking to myself, why is Chris Metzen describing the light in the way he is? Because recently we've been seeing that light is not all good. And we're no longer on the side of the light or the side of the void. We're kind of an intermediary. But that's not how Chris Metzen talks about it. Chris Metzen, in fact, talks about the light in a very good way. And when he was doing so, I was thinking, is he changing what light is? Let's listen real quick to what Chris Metzen had to say during BlizzCon. And listen how he describes what we're going to be doing with the light.
World of Warcraft, midnight.
Drink every time Sam says the light.
In this chapter, you will be returning, ready, to the old world. To the fabled lands of Quel'Thalas.
I'm excited for this, by the way. Revamped Silverman.
There, the forces of the Void have invaded Azeroth, intent on snuffing out the light of the Sunwell and plunging the world into darkness and fear. You will not only help reunify the scattered elven tribes of Azeroth.
Listen to this.
But you will make your stand with the forces of the light and banish the shadow forever.
Interesting. Interesting. Make our stand with the forces of light and banish the shadow forever. Now, someone already said this in chat, right? Within the light, there is darkness. Within darkness is light. Within light is darkness. One cannot exist without the other. And there was always a balance to things. But it looks like this light that he's describing, we side with it. It is once again good. That this light is maybe different from the light that we're used to, or this time light that supposedly has been the light this entire time. Now again, we've gotten into a little bit of, you know, okay, what if light is actually time? Time magic. And the real light has been hidden from us this entire time. Keep in mind what I've told you about what time is, and how it's been used to heal, and it is in fact a fake version of the light. And watch this part of the cinematic one more time, and listen to what Thrall has to say. Keep in mind what I've told you. Follow me here, people.
You're here to tell me we don't get to hide. Is that it?
You needed time. We stayed away. But time by itself heals nothing.
Jesus. Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he just said? You needed time, Anduin. But time itself heals nothing. Now, I'm not being a drama queen. It's all connected. It's all connected. Listen again. Listen again.
Heals nothing.
Yeah.
We stayed away. But time by itself heals nothing.
Right in the heart. Right in the heart. He mentions time twice in one sentence, and he says, but time by itself heals nothing. So maybe Anduin hasn't, in fact, lost touch with the light. Right? Maybe he's realizing the light he wields isn't able to heal him. Isn't able to help him recover from what he's been through. Because time itself heals nothing. And the light wielding that he knows, that he's been using this entire time, is in fact a construct of the Titans. It's time magic, not the light. Now, how do we figure this all out? Where does this all come from? Where do we realize that we are not truly using the light? This goes back to Bernardito's comment, or should I say Bert Dorito's comment from chat yesterday. The Arathi. The Arathi people. That's right. We're about to find the first true wielders of the light in World of Warcraft, and it's going to be in Harrowfall. Follow me, people. A little bit closer here. If you don't know a little background in the Arathi people are like the original human kingdom. Before the humans, you know, were all divided into tribes and eventually were united under the Arathor Empire, which was founded by Thoradin. Okay, this became he was the Arathi warlord, and this became the Arathi kingdom. Later on, the humans would split up into the kingdoms that we know today, like Lordaeron and Stormwind and all that. Thoradin's last known descendant was Anduin Lothar. Yes, similar name because Anduin himself was named after Mr. Anduin Lothar, who died in the Second War. Now, the Arathi that we meet in the War Within are Thoradin's direct descendants, and they are a tribe that splintered off a long time ago after they were guided by a vision of a falling star. This golden crystal that we see in this zone is in fact that falling star, and the Arathi followed it, or followed their dream of it, and ended up deep beneath the earth in this zone, and, you know, eventually learned how to wield the light, right? Now, the light that they wield is not really described as the light as we know it. In fact, if we looked at an interview here, it is known as a holy flame. That's right. When asked about it, it's what's used to fly their airships and everything else. Now, this holy flame is somewhat different from what we've known as the light. And Burnt Dorito in chat made a comment yesterday saying, what if we go to Harrowfall and we start doing, you know, everything and helping these people out with the invasions and all the stuff that they're dealing with? And as we're doing so, we're wielding the light and healing and doing all that stuff. And one of these Arathi turned to us and they're like, what is that? And we're like, what are you talking about, man? I'm just using the light. They're like, what are you talking about? That's not light magic. That's something else. It's very possible. When you describe something as a holy flame, what is a flame? What is a fire? Is it something that you consider to be controllable? Is that something you consider to be orderly? No, in fact, flames and fire are disorder. That's right. Flames and fire and things like that are very disorderly. If you think about it, the Titans wouldn't want us to wield something like the light. Something that's so pure and just and fiery and uncontrollable. I think Anduin finally learns how to wield the light. He becomes the first of our people to truly wield the light, and that is how he is able to heal himself and bring himself back to the king that he needs to be. We also continue on to one of the new dungeons that we eventually find. Priory of the Sacred Flame. The Sacred Flame. That's right. More descriptions of flaming light, this kind of light magic that we've never seen before. And if we dig even deeper into the hero talents, we've seen things like lightsmiths before, you know, kind of using light to create weapons. We've seen stuff like that before. A Templar, who I expect to be more of a, you know, somebody who's fighting, you know, more melee-centric paladins probably. But then a Herald of the Sun. That's an interesting one. Sounds very flamish, right? Sounds very fire-ish. Sounds very new light. If you ask me, these new paladin specs, especially Herald of the Light, have to do with the new form of light, the true form of light that we're going to discover here. And then you got things like Chrono Wardens, which have to do with healing with time. We're going to finally discover the truth, guys. We're going to discover the truth, and when we do, Anduin will wield his new powers and return to Stormwind to find an old practicer of the light, Turelion, the Exarch, sitting on his throne, wielding the old form of the light, loyal to the old form of the light. And when these two forms of light finally clash, the time-ridden light that the Titans taught us about, and Anduin's true new form of light, there could be a battle. Hopefully he can convince Turelion that he's been lied to this entire time and that the true light is what he's currently wielding. Maybe not. Maybe he'll have to fight Turelion and show what the true light is truly capable of. I think, you know, this, whether or not this plays out, guys, whether or not things work out this way, we are certainly getting some new form of light magic. Whether it's the true form, whether what we've been using is not the right form, that's to be determined. We'll see if Blizzard actually pulls something like this off, but to me, Anduin being lost, not knowing what the light is anymore, Thrall's lines about time truly healing nothing, very interesting. I mean, we even can go back to stuff about Illidan and how they tried to heal his scars. You can't heal a scar, okay? A scar is forever. That's what a scar is. I am my scars. When he drops that line, scars are forever. How can you heal a scar? What's the only way to truly get rid of a scar? Go back in time. Reverse time and stop those scars from ever occurring. That's right. Plastic surgery? No. No. Time magic. And that's why her light was going to heal his scars. I leave you guys with all this stuff that I just said, all this blasphemy I just put out, and maybe it's all just a bunch of bullshit, but there is a chance that Anduin becomes the first true wielder of light magic, as we know it in the modern world. And I leave you guys with that. That is it. That is my theory on light magic. That is my theory on what could be happening in the war within and what we actually discover and what we find out about the battle between the void and the light. I'm betting on the former 0% chance. Sam is a dreadlord, yeah. You know what? There was something else. There was something else. You reminded me, actually. The way the dreadlords kind of describe the Titans, right? Right here. Look at this. From the Nathrezim. In many ways, the Titans will be the easiest to manipulate. Their singular goal is to impose structure upon everything they see. They show them a force that opposes their drive for order, and they will be consumed by their urge to eradicate it. Their pantheon, so seemingly united in a purpose, is vulnerable to fracturing. Show them a force opposed to their order, and they will seek to eradicate it. The light, the true light, is not about order, and they will seek to eradicate it, as they have done with all things, as they did with the light, and as they will continue to do in the last Titan. Yep, next expansion, new class avatar. There you go. You could cauterize the wound with fire and to heal it. Yeah, I mean, look, the true magic of holy fire and everything else. We're about to find out a lot about it. I'm excited. This lore speculation is fun to do, and I enjoy it. And by the way, this quote was from the Nathrezim, from a book of enemy infiltration. The Nathrezim say what you want about them. They usually don't lie. They usually don't lie. So for his pretty intense. Paladins, resources, runes. Burnt, you're right. Rune magic, we know. Rune magic is, in fact, from the Titans. We know that now.